It's time! But what will we do when the time is over and Bruce Buffer retires? In this video, hello and welcome to Bloodsport MMA.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Bruce Anthony Buffer, a guy that you cannot envision the UFC without. He's a vital part of the today's product of the UFC, right? I mean, he is one of the faces of the UFC. When you think of the UFC, you in one way or another also think and talk about Bruce Buffer, right? Because in my opinion, and I do think a lot of people share that opinion, he is by far the greatest announcer any sport has ever seen. I don't care about your Michael Buffer thing. Of course, Michael Buffer also had some great announcements and he also has a great voice. But Michael Buffer, when he announces fights, and I mean, with all due respect, he looks like he has zero interest in being there and he's like forced to be there. And now, ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the blue corner. Like, he has a great voice, but he seems like he doesn't want to be there. Bruce is like bringing freaking life into the arena. Bruce, whenever he's in Mexico, he announces, he makes the Bienvenidos announcement, like the welcome announcement in Spanish. When he's in Brazil, he makes it in Portuguese. Like, he loves the sport. He's a martial artist or former martial artist himself. And you can see that he lives and breathes that sport, right? He loves the sport with all his heart, and you can see that in his announcements. And coupled with that, he also has a great voice.
Tony El Cucuya Ferguson!
But the problem with Bruce is he is 76 years old. And the question really is, what will we do when he's gone? I do believe he has a couple more years left, but this is also a job that you cannot do forever. He will not be able to jump and to roar in the octagon at 75. Well, hopefully, right? But I see great chances, unfortunately, that he in the next couple of years, like 3-4 years, will hang it up. I could see him saying, hey, 70, that's enough. I know he said before that he will die before he stops announcing fights and stuff like that, but you never know. Once you get to a certain age, you made so much money, you announce so many fights, and your health and your well-being just comes first, and you might change your mind and be like, hey, that might be it for me.
That might be it for me.
You know what I mean? I mean, he announced his first ever UFC fight in 1996 at UFC 8.
He's in 1897.
You have to imagine that. 1996, I wasn't even born back then. I wasn't even in planning back then. You know what I mean? And he is still actively announcing the fights. It's just insane, the longevity that he has in that sport. Of course, as an announcer, it's not that hard to have longevity because you're not an athlete. But still, especially the way he announces fights, with all that energy, that jumping around and all that, that takes a lot out of you. Like, the stretches he does before he announces and stuff like that, those are necessary. I mean, those announcements are not for everyone, the way he does it. And that's also the problem, because the question is, who will be able to replace Bruce? It's a weird example. It's like your first ever dog. You will never get a real replacement. It will just never be the same. You can get a nice, cute other dog that you will also love and you will also have a great time with him, but it will never be the same like your first dog. Your first dog will always be the special one. And I feel like it's the same with Bruce, because I'm sure there are other great announcers that will also do a great job when Bruce is gone, but I just can't see anyone replacing him, because we have, for example, Joe Martinez, who is most likely to replace Bruce Buffer, but I like Joe Martinez. He does a good job, but I'm not sure if he's the guy to fully replace a guy like Bruce Buffer. Because whilst he does a good job, he announces well. I love that he can pronounce the Spanish names in a Spanish way. I love to hear that. But other than that, it's just, I'm not sure if he's the guy. And to be honest, I don't think I've ever heard an MMA announcer ever that I was like, this guy could be it. Like most announcers, their voices are they're just not it. It has to be a special type of voice. And what we have to say, to be fair, is Bruce's voice was also not always that perfect like it is now. Because your voice gets better, more mature, more full the older you get, right? And Bruce, when he announced the first few UFC fights, his voice was also not the one. So we have to give the benefit of the doubt to guys like Joe Martinez and those guys, because they are still aging, like fine wine or something like that, you know what I mean? So we probably just have to trust the process, because, I mean, MMA Hot Mike on Instagram, shout out to you. He does a great job with the announcements, but I'm not sure I'm pretty sure that his voice is not the one. He has the right amount of energy. I want exactly that energy in the octagon. If he would give that energy to Joe Martinez, we could have a real contender there. But his voice is still too young, too high. Like, maybe he needs to smoke some cigarettes or something, but like, I need a potent voice, you know what I mean? Not like, fighting out of the blue corner. Like, I need a strong freaking voice that like, makes me fired up, you know what I mean? And so far, I haven't really seen anyone. Who has the potential with a good voice is the guy who does Power Slap. He has a pretty good voice in my opinion, and he also has good energy. But so far, he never has announced any UFC fight, so I'm not sure how he would do. But he definitely needs a couple more years, but he could potentially be a contender. But yeah, so far we have no official #1 contender. Joe Martinez is definitely at the moment the front runner because he's the one announcing the fights when Bruce isn't there. But I'm not sure if he's ready yet. Maybe time will change. Maybe time will tell as well. And maybe by the time Bruce hangs it up, which hopefully is very far in the future, we will have a clear-cut contender that the vast majority of us UFC fans will be content with, announcing our Octagon Warriors, how Bruce calls them, right? What is your opinion? Who do you think should replace Bruce Buffer? Do you have a specific contender? Do you even like Bruce Buffer? Write it all in the comments, you guys. Make sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel. I would appreciate that a lot. Make sure to check out my merch as well, bloodsportmma.net. The link is in the bio. Worldwide free shipping with the code FREE, the freshest merch in the industry. All kinds of cool MMA merch. Check it out, you guys. Stay bloody, and until the next one, bye-bye. Bloodsport out.